Have you ever just looked at some of the world's biggest companies and wondered, how do they seem so invincible? It's not just about size, it's about being built to last. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and look at the actual blueprint for durability, the hidden forces that protect these absolute giants.
So let me ask you this. What could possibly connect your iPhone, a giant Caterpillar bulldozer, and, yeah, that legendary Costco hot dog? The answer isn't just that they're all super popular. No, it's that they are all part of a nearly unbeatable business strategy. The secret has a name: a business moat.
So what is a business moat? Well, think of a medieval castle. The moat was that wide ditch full of water that kept invaders out. In business, it's the exact same idea. It's a durable, competitive advantage that protects a company's profits from competitors. And these moats, they come in all shapes and sizes, from pure tech dominance to brand loyalty so strong it literally becomes a part of your daily routine.
All right, first up, let's dive into the giants who built their castles not with stone, but with code. In the digital world, their moats are some of the most powerful and honestly complex we've ever seen.
Just look at Apple and Microsoft. They show us two totally different ways to build a digital fortress. Apple, they mastered what's called ecosystem lock-in. With over 2 billion devices all talking to each other, the experience is so seamless that leaving feels, well, almost impossible. Microsoft, on the other hand, they perfected enterprise lock-in. They became the essential operating system for global business, from Office and Teams all the way to the Azure cloud that's powering this whole AI revolution.
And then there's this number, 3 billion. That is how many people use Meta's family of apps, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, every single month. The scale is just, it's mind-boggling.
And that scale creates one of the most powerful moats there is, the network effect. It's simple, right? The more people who use Facebook or Instagram, the more valuable it becomes for you to be on it too. It's not just a social network anymore. It's become the world's essential infrastructure for human attention.
Now, these moats aren't just for digital giants. Let's see how this whole concept plays out in the real, physical world, with the kings of consumption, the companies that have totally mastered how and what we buy every single day.
Let's talk about Costco. It's so easy to think of them as just a big store that sells stuff in bulk. But here's the thing, that's not their real business. Their real business is selling you a membership.
And this chart just says it all. About 70% of Costco's entire profit comes from those high-margin membership fees. The cheap hot dogs and the low prices on everything else, that's not where they make their money. That's the bait. That's the reason you happily pay the membership fee every year.
And you might ask, does it work? Oh boy, does it work. Their membership renewal rate is an incredible 90%. That loyalty, that is the bedrock of their entire business, a steady, recurring revenue stream that is the absolute envy of the entire retail world.
Of course, other consumer kings have different moats. Walmart's moat is just pure, unmatched logistical scale. They serve around 270 million customers every single week. Starbucks, meanwhile, built its moat on brand and habit. They literally created the third place between home and work for over 34 million loyalty members in the US alone.
Okay, for our last section, let's pull back the curtain on the giants who operate behind the scenes. You might not interact with them every day, but believe me, these companies are the foundational engine of our entire global economy.
You may not have heard of TSMC, but I can pretty much guarantee you use their products every single day. They are the hidden force, the unseen backbone behind the entire tech world. They manufacture the advanced chips that power everything from your phone to massive AI data centers.
And here is the jaw-dropper. TSMC makes over 90% of the world's most advanced logic chips. Let that sink in. That is not just market leadership, that is systemic critical importance. A problem at their factories could send shockwaves through almost every industry on the planet.
So how in the world did they build a moat that deep? Well, it took decades of relentless technological leadership and spending tens of billions of dollars on their factories. The cost and the pure complexity of just trying to catch up is so ridiculously high, it creates a nearly insurmountable barrier for anyone else.
Now, let's look at a different kind of industrial moat, with GE Aerospace. It all starts with the sale of a jet engine. You'd think that's the main product, right? But really, that's just the handshake. It's only the beginning of the relationship. Because the real product isn't the engine. Nope, it's the decades of high-margin service and maintenance contracts that come after.
This is the classic razor and blades model. With a service backlog worth over $140 billion, GE has locked in a predictable, highly profitable revenue stream for years and years to come.
Okay, one last really brilliant financial moat: float. Companies like American Express and Booking.com are masters of this. Here's how it works. You pay them upfront for a flight or a hotel room. Then, they just hold on to your cash for a while. And then, much later, they pay the airline or the hotel. That time gap creates a massive multi-billion-dollar pool of cash that they can use. It's basically a giant interest-free loan from their own customers. How smart is that?
So, after looking at all these different companies, digital titans, consumer kings, industrial engines, what's the common thread? What really is the blueprint for durability?
Well, it really comes down to a few key strategies, right? We've seen the power of network effects and ecosystems with Meta and Apple. We've seen massive scale with Walmart. We've seen the incredible power of recurring revenue from Costco and GE. We've seen those super high barriers to entry from TSMC. And of course, that indispensable brand loyalty from Starbucks.
So here is the ultimate takeaway. The most durable companies in the world have moved way beyond just selling you a product one time. They have mastered the art of building systems you can't leave, creating habits you won't break, and becoming infrastructure that you simply can't operate without. They're not just making a transaction. They're integrating themselves into the very fabric of your life or your business. That isn't just a moat, it's the very definition of modern power.
And that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. As technology and our habits keep evolving at lightning speed, who do you think is out there right now, quietly building the next great unbeatable moat?